Hey there, I'm Ayush Rathod. This is the Blue Biker. Welcome. If you're wondering what this is my new radiator guard that I got for my KTM 390 Adventure. And in this video, I'm going to go over the importance of radiator guards, whether you need it or not, and if you need it, what are the things you should look for. In the process, I'll also unbox this, and I'll put a timestamp of it somewhere over here, so that if you want to simply see the unboxing and what this particular radiator guard is like, you can jump straight through, or if you can sit through a few minutes of me rambling about radiator guards, then just keep watching. Let's start. So the first question is, what is a radiator guard? For this, you need to learn what a radiator is, and I'm pretty sure you already know what a radiator is because you see them everywhere. On a lot of modern motorcycles, radiators are very important because these engines tend to run hot. But if you look closely at a radiator, it's full of fins. I'll show you a photo. It's full of tiny fins that can get bent sometimes, and it's completely fine if they get bent. But if you are riding in off-road terrain or on rough roads and even one pebble shoots up from your wheel to the radiator, it can puncture the radiator. This is not very common, but when it happens, things go bad really quickly. Why is that? Well, the radiator is there to cool down your engine, and the moment the radiator is punctured, all the fluid will flow out of it. Your bike will heat up, and if you don't fix it on time, the engine can seize up. If you're someone who likes to go off-roading or likes to ride in places that are away from the city where you won't find a service center nearby, then it's important that you protect your radiator. It's just one type of insurance that you have, that in case a rock or a pebble or something flies up to your radiator, the guard will protect it. That's it. It's a very simple device and there's not much to it. If you're thinking that, hey, I don't need a radiator guard, my bike already comes with a plastic guard or whatever, or you don't want to waste money on it, let me tell you, it's completely up to you. Your bike, you can ride it the way you want, but just look up how expensive radiators are. That is not cheap. So yeah, I would rather spend 3,000-4,000 rupees on the radiator guard than wait till I get stranded in the middle of nowhere, book a tempo to get out of there, which will again cost a lot of money, and then spend a lot of money fixing my radiator. There's another benefit to having a radiator guard. Now remember the fins that I told you about. Over time, even if you don't puncture the radiator, the small pebbles and everything that flies on the road will bend some of the fins, which will reduce the cooling efficiency of the radiator. So after 2-3 years of ownership, you will have to sit and start straightening the fins. It's a very easy process, but it is very time consuming, and if you have got the right radiator guard, you won't have to do that as often. That brings us to frequently asked questions about radiator guards, and there are 2-3 that I would like to address over here. The first one is, does a radiator guard affect the cooling efficiency of your radiator? That honestly depends on the type of radiator you have. If you are using one of those cheap knockoff radiator guards that you bought from Amazon for 500-600 rupees and they are not designed properly, yes, they will hamper the cooling because they'll affect the wind flow. Good radiator guards that are designed by professionals and they have spent some time doing the research and like testing on it, those will not. Yes, it will still affect the cooling by a margin, but that's insignificant compared to a cheap one. The cheap one will straight up stop a lot of air that is going through the radiator. As long as you're buying a good quality one, you don't need to worry at all. But if you're buying a cheap one, just don't spend some more money and get a good quality one. The next question is what to look for in a radiator guard. Few things, honestly. You don't have to do a lot of research on it. Most of the times you can see and tell whether that radiator guard will work or not. First one is, look at what it is made of. Most radiator guards are made of metal, but which metal is important. You need something that is either made of aluminum or steel, because these two metals are light and resistant to corrosion. And you don't want your radiator guard to get corroded, because that will transfer the corrosion to the radiator itself. And again, it's defeating the purpose, right? You get something to save money on breaking something, and then that thing ends up breaking that thing, so you don't want that. Next thing you should look at is the design. There are multiple types of design over there. There are slits, there are honeycomb mesh patterns. You can pick whichever one that you want, but the design should not be too obtrusive or obstructive to the airflow. Third thing would be, get it from a reputable brand. don't cheap out on hardware. Actually, when it comes to motorcycles, just don't cheap out on anything because it never goes well. So yeah, if you find a radiator guard that is 4,000 rupees for your bike, that's all right. Do you really need a radiator guard on your motorcycle? Honestly, it depends on your riding style and where you ride your motorcycle. If you are someone who rides in the city or occasionally go on the highway for weekend rides, you don't need a radiator guard. You are not going on really bad roads as much, so the chances of your radiator getting a dent or a puncture from one of those pebbles is not so much. But if you're someone who likes going on the highway often, like you take long rides all the time, then yeah, you should get a radiator guard. And if you are someone who likes off-roading, you should definitely get a radiator guard. Off-roading is where they come in handy the most, which is why I got it for my bike right now, is because I know I'll be going off-roading, which is fun. I love off-roading, but I know the risks involved and I'm just trying to protect my bike with it. That's out of the way. Let's unbox, because I got this 2 days ago and I still haven't unboxed it, and it's like itching me right now to see what it is like. If you are a motorcyclist, you already know how exciting it is to get something new, and you just want to open it up and put it on your bike. Unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of time, so couldn't do it. But this is the box. Now, yes, the condition of the box looks bad. This is not Viaterra's fault. This is nobody's fault. This is my fault because I strapped it on the bike and the box just kind of like got bent out of shape due to the bungee cords. Let's open it up. Yeah, this is not like a professional unboxing video, so don't expect really sexy B-rolls and all that. I'm just giving you information, and that's it. Okay, so we open the box and there is foam. Here's the radiator guard. And what else is there? Foam. And there's a small packet over here which Viaterra has given. And we have got 6 screws and 2, I guess they are washers. We'll keep this aside and let's open this up. They really went all out with the packaging, man.
One eternity later.
I have to say, Viaterra, you have done a great job on packaging. This is good. Here is what it looks like. This goes on the radiator, in front of the radiator, if you guys can see. And now let me tell you what this is like and why I picked this particular one. There's a Viaterra radiator guard, if you can see. The first reason why I picked this is Viaterra itself. Their products are really high quality, and so far none of their products have disappointed me. From my saddlebag to my full gauntlet gloves, really good. And that's the kind of trust I've built with Viaterra. So I like to pick Viaterra products if they are available. Second reason is that this is made of mild steel, so it is lightweight, and it's still kind of heavy, but it's not as heavy as you would expect it to be. Feels very solid too. You can like see, it's kind of flexible but not much. There's also powder coated, so I don't think the corrosion would be an issue for a long time. It might still occur, but that would be 2-3 years down the line, and that's a given. Even if I buy a really expensive radiator guard from those international brands, they will still start rusting because I live in Goa and the beach is like 10 minutes from my house. That's not good for your motorcycle and metal parts ever. And the design itself, if you can see, it's not a honeycomb mesh pattern, which is what I usually like. This is more, I don't know, boxy, geometrical, and it's okay as long as it works. The slits are wide enough to let the air flow, and I don't think this would obstruct the airflow that much. It's a small investment, not a lot of things to say about it really, but if you are looking for a radiator guard and you have a KTM 390 Adventure or a similar bike in the same segment, Viaterra radiator guard is really good. If not, you can look at other radiator guards, but just remember, whatever you pick, make sure it is made of steel, aluminum or some other anti-corrosive metal. It's lightweight and has enough airflow. If you want an installation video, stay tuned. I will definitely be making one installation video of this on the KTM 390 Adventure. Viaterra says this is very easy to install. It's just plug and play. There are 4 holes over here, so you put the bolts through, and these 2 I guess are for other 2 bolts. You line them up and then that's it. But if you still want a installation video, I will make it, because I really want to start making DIY installation videos and all those things. In conclusion, a radiator guard is important to have depending on your riding style and where you ride your motorcycle. If you ride in the city, you may not need it that much, but if you go on long tours and you go off-roading, especially if you go off-roading, you need a radiator guard for yourself. I mean, for the bike, you can wear it like this, you know, but that would be impractical. It's better if you stick this on the motorcycle, not on your face. Although if you want to purchase the same one, I purchased it from Moto Wilder. I will leave a link to the Instagram in the description. You can just hit them up and they'll help you out with this or any other Viaterra products. Actually, they have a lot of products, including Rhinox too. That's it for today. I'm Ayush Rathod. This is the Blue Biker. Thank you for joining in, and I'll catch you guys in a couple of days. See you.